Hey everyone, in today's video I'll be talking about Star Trek, and I'll be talking about Star Trek in the context of a Mongo database. So I've created this database model that basically has two collections, episodes and series. Series, as you'll see here, represents the different series of Star Trek. So when I was a kid I grew up watching the three Star Trek series that were out from the late 80s to the early 2000s. So The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. I was never really a fan of the original series, and I wasn't a fan of Enterprise. But in the 90s, that's when Star Trek was the best, in my opinion. So, what I'll be doing is I'll be connecting episodes from each one of these series to these IDs here. So, I have this other collection. Let me get back to my collections. So, that was the series collection. And now I'll show you the episode collection. So basically the episode collection has names of episodes, a season, and they're connected to a series by a series ID. So in the case of The Changing Face of Evil, this series ID belongs to Deep Space Nine. And then here's Scorpion, this belongs to Voyager, this ID right here. And then Encounter at Farpoint belongs to The Next Generation, and the series ID is here. So I have this here that I'm going to build in a second, but it's running right now. And basically it takes in three arguments. A code for the series, in this case it's TNG for The Next Generation, a name of an episode, and a season. So let's change this to something else like Voyager, VOY, and then the episode name will be End Game, and the season will be 7. So if I hit enter on that, End Game gets added to the collection, and if I refresh this and look at all the episodes that I have, I'll see End Game is here, and the series ID, let's see, it ends in 19EB. So if I go back to the series, the ending 19EB should belong to Voyager once I can find it. So series 19EB right over here, and that belongs to Voyager. And then 19E1 is The Next Generation, and 19DF is Deep Space Nine. So typically you put the episodes in the same collection as the series because the episodes only belong to one series. So there's no need to create this one-to-many relationship. But since I was thinking about Star Trek and I wanted to demonstrate one-to-many relationships, let's just pretend that one episode can go to more than one series. But of course, that's not the case. But I think this should be a good example to just show you how to create the references between the two series and episodes. So now let me get into the code. I have some bare bones code here, basically my database login information, and then I have the initialization for everything here. So I'm going to create the route. Add episode, and this is going to be used to actually connect the series to the episode that I add. So the very first argument was the code for the series. So if I look here in the database model, each series has a name and a code. So Star Trek The Next Generation is TNG, Deep Space Nine is DS9, and Voyager is VOY. So that's what I mean by code. And then the name of the episode, I'll have another argument for it called name. And then finally the season. And of course, I'll have to create my view function, and it's going to take in three parameters: code, name, and season. So now that I have that, let's say I just did a request and I passed in those three arguments, code, name, and season. The very first thing I want to do is get the series that the code belongs to so I can get the series ID eventually. So first I need to get the series collection so I can use it. So it's going to be mongo.db.series, which is the name of the collection that I'm going to be looking at. And then from the series that I get, I'm going to query it for a code that was passed in. So series.find1, because each series is unique, and code is going to be code. And I'll call the resulting variable the series. Not very descriptive, but it works in this case. So now I have the series that I'm interested in. So if I pass in TNG, the series will represent all the data belonging to the next generation, and the same for VOY and DS9. So once I have the series, now I need to create a new episode. First, I need to get the episode collections. So episode mongo.db episodes. And then from here, I need to insert into the episodes collection. So I'll do episodes.insert, and I'll insert the relevant information. So the name is the name that's passed in, and then the season is the season that's passed in. And then the last thing I need to pass in is a series ID, which is what connects the episode to the season. So if I do series ID, I can pass in the series, which is the series that I got from up here. And what I'm looking for is the underscore ID field, because if you look in each document, they all have these IDs, which are called object IDs. So if I add that, and finally return added name to the collection. Collection, and let me just put a space here. So let me end the other example I made, and I'll start this one. So this is called StarTrek.py, StarTrek.py, and everything works fine. So now let me try adding something else. Let's do DS9, and how about favor the bold, which was in season 6. It says added favor the bold to the collection. So now if I look at the episodes collection, I should see the new value in there. So episodes now has 5 documents, and I see favor the bold down here, season 6, and it's connected to 19DF, which is the ID for DS9. And I can do another one. Let's do TNG, and let's say the best of both worlds, and that is season 7. And it just added the best of both worlds to the collection, so I now should have 6 episodes in this collection. And I see it down here. So now that I have these in the collection, let's say I want to get all the episodes that belong to a certain season. Like I said earlier, typically you just put all the episodes in the same document as the series, because it just makes sense that way, because one episode won't belong to more than one series. But let's just say that weren't the case and I need to query for it. So let's create another route. Let's say get episodes, and it takes in a single code, and function will be called get episodes again, takes in code, and I need to get the series just like I'm getting it up here. So I'll just use the same code, the series.find one code and code. So now that I have the series that was passed in, I'll now query for episodes that have that season. So first I have to get the episodes collection. Then I'll do episodes.find, and I'm looking for series ID equal to the series underscore ID, which gives me the object ID for whatever series was requested. And I'll say series episodes is the name of the variable that I want. Then finally I need to loop through, so I'll create a variable, not episodes, I'll call it episode list, and it's going to be a string. And then for E in series episodes, so for each document that was returned from this query here, I'm going to display the episodes that I have. So for E in series episodes, so episode list plus equals, let's see, E dot name, or better yet, name like that. And I'll add a space as well. And then I'll return this episode list. Okay, so this should allow me to see all the episodes that I've entered for a particular series. So it's called get episodes, and let's see if this works on the first try. So get episodes, and then I want DS9. And you see the changing face of evil and favor the bold. To make that a little more clear, instead of a space, I'll just add a dash or a new line. How about that? So I'll do this again. And it queries, and it should return. It didn't. Don't know why I can't get a new line. Let's try a dash. And something just failed. I think it was reloading. Okay. Let's see if I can do the new line again. It will look a lot better with the new line, but for some reason I can't get the new line to work. So yeah, I'll just separate them by a bunch of dashes just so you can see the differences in the episodes. Okay, so the changing face of evil and favor the bold. And if I go back to add episode, I'll add a few episodes to DS9. So add episode DS9. The name, let's do Duet Season 1. And then how about What You Leave Behind? That's Season 7. And then one more. How about the Jim Hadar? I don't know if that quote will work. That's Season 2. It does. Okay, so now if I go back to get episodes, which is what I named it, right? Yeah, for DS9, I should have more value. So see the things that I added in there, and of course they're in the database as well. So that's pretty much all I want to show you for this video, how to kind of make connections between things in MongoDB, because unlike SQL, there aren't any explicit connections between the things in your database. You, the programmer, have to come up with ways to connect things, and the easiest way to do that in MongoDB is using the reference, by just having the reference of the ID that you want. There are other ways to do it, but this is the most straightforward way, and this will cover most of your cases. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions about this video, just leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe. So thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you next time.